Hello, my name is Hyung Lee and I'm from Hanyang University. Today, I will be presenting our work titled Does Localization Inform Unlearning? A rigorous examination of local parameter attribution for knowledge unlearning in language models. First off, let's begin with what unlearning is and in particular, what localized unlearning is. LLMs are pre-trained on massive corpora so they can retain unintended content. In response, unlearning aims to remove a specific piece of knowledge while preserving the model's general abilities, but many methods struggle to retain utility. To address this, recent work adopts localization into unlearning, which we call localized unlearning. Instead of updating the entire parameter, localized unlearning first scores parameter or neurons by how much they encode the target knowledge. It then updates only those that exceed a threshold and keeps the rest fixed, with the goal of maximizing utility retention. While the idea of localized unlearning is promising, we identify critical gaps that have largely been overlooked in this line of work. First, the evaluation is limited and local. Unlearning inherently involves a trade-off between removal and retention, and these two curves cross as unlearning strength varies. Evaluating at a single arbitrary point gives a biased local snapshot because the relative ordering can flip at other operating points. Second, many studies optimize localization while assuming without proof that better localization yields better unlearning. However, the causal link between localization and unlearning remains unverified. Therefore, evidence for its contribution must be established before exploring better localization methods. Next, our evaluation. To enable fair comparison across unlearning methods, we follow evaluation practices from out-of-distribution detection. First, we use AUES, the area under the extraction strength curve. Concretely, we measure extraction strengths on the forget set and the retain set over the entire unlearning trajectory. We then compute the area under the FSRS curve, which summarizes how well a method balances forgetting and retention across the whole process, not just at a single operating point. Second, we use a controlled single-point metric called MU95. We measure forget quality at the point where model utility is fixed at 95% of its initial value. This standardized the retention level to a tolerable 5% degradation, enabling fair comparison across methods. And this complements AUES by providing a clear local snapshot at a common operating point. Using our evaluation, we measure existing localized unlearning methods and find that unlearning over randomly selected region outperforms every baselines. This clearly signals a failure of current approaches, but it also raises a deeper question. Is this merely a limitation of today's localization strategies, or does it suggest that the solution they seek may not exist? This question motivates the investigation in the next section. In this part, we aim to directly test whether localization truly provides a causal basis for unlearning. To eliminate localization accuracy as a confounding factor, we design a controlled experiment where the ground truth region is explicitly predefined. In other words, instead of identifying the region through a specific method, we construct a model in which the region that localization is supposed to find is already known, allowing us to simulate perfect localization. We first train the model on the retain set, updating all parameters, then train on the forget set while updating only a predefined parameter region, which we denote the target region. For comparison, we pick an equally sized random region outside the target region and compare localized unlearning on the target region and the random region, which we denote as the oracle scenario and the random scenario respectively. We observe a surprising pattern that oracle shows no meaningful gain over random, which holds across various settings. This result challenged the premise that parameter locality inherently signals effective knowledge removal and suggests that effective unlearning may not depend on updating a single fixed parameter region, but can be realized through multiple alternative regions in the model. Thank you for your attention. For any questions or further discussion, please feel free to reach out to me by email.